I'm recording this within the first few days of September, but I don't know when I'm going to upload it. So it doesn't matter what month you're in or what month you're approaching, this still applies. I want to challenge you to divorce Facebook with me while remaining friends for the sake of the children. If you're anything like me, you kind of fool yourself and lie to yourself about how much time you really do spend on Facebook. And it's very possible that the Lord has talked to you about this situation, but your reaction is something like, but I can't really divorce social media. When I say Facebook, please understand, I mean Twitter, Instagram, all that other stuff, you know, that I don't even know what half of it is. But so whatever applies to you, so it's possible the Lord has talked to you about this and your first response is, but I can't. And sometimes that's kind of a legitimate argument. We'll get there in a second. Okay, I want to remind you, this is the Passion Translation. I want to remind you of a verse that says, "Give generously and generous gifts will be given back to you, shaken down to make room for more." I want you to start thinking about that verse in relation to time. Okay, well, you can't actually make more time as much as you might want it. I know that I've spent a lot of prayer time saying, God, I just need more time. You know, there's stuff I want to do. I just feel like it's you. I have such, I'm practically obsessed with wanting to do this and this and this, and it's creative stuff or it's productive stuff, it's good stuff. But I don't have the time, Lord. I don't have the time. I need you to clone me or something. Okay, how many times have you maybe prayed something similar? Well, sorry I sound like this. I have a summer cold. So think about it in this way. If you had a mason jar and you poured in some pebbles or something like that, and it came to the top, if you gave that a shake, 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 it would settle. And then you'd have another inch at the top, right? Well, it's not, you didn't create more space in the mason jar. The mason jar didn't get bigger, nothing like that. You didn't create more space. It just became available because of that little shaking that you did. That space became available where you could use it on top. You can use it up there. So then you were able to put more pebbles in, right? So think about that in relation to time. So as we were approaching September, the Lord asked me to give him my Facebook time, and I do a little bit of Instagram, but that's about it. He said, give me that time for 1 month and see what I do with it. And it's really cool because basically I gave him my time and he gave me time back in a new way. So like I said, my first reaction, my first thought was, well, but I kind of can't. There's a way in which I can't. And what I mean by this is my husband and I run a nonprofit, and so Facebook is really good for networking, for marketing, communicating, things like that. There are people who will message me through Facebook, and their messages are important. I mean, I need to see them. I need to answer them. There are times when the Lord will put something so strong in my heart, or I'll even take a photograph and I'll just feel God all over that photo, and I want to post it, and it's just a few seconds of almost like ministry. It's a few seconds of proclaiming the gospel. So what the Lord showed me almost immediately was, wait. That's not the problem. Those few minutes that you might spend checking your messages for something important, or just responding to a post because it needs to be responded to, or even posting a photo that exalts me. He said, that's not the problem. The problem is the scrolling that steals our time and our life, because when we spend so much time trying to keep up on everyone else's life, we forfeit our own through scrolling. So it's this thumb thing that happens. And so essentially my instructions for September was use social media when you need to, when you must, and then stop. You don't do this. Because it's the scrolling that will make your brain crazy. It's the scrolling that will put your mind into this frenzy. There's this, is it GIF or GIF? I guess it's GIF, GIF. Anyway, there's one of those that shows Kermit, and his head's just flopping, and his arms and legs are flopping. And I saw that, and I thought, that's my brain on social media. That's my brain when I scroll and I can't stop. Another thing you can compare it to, I'm very transparent, and I'm going to tell you everything eventually. So let me say I spent a couple of years addicted to food, and then a long time really gaining victory over that. So, but if you've ever been addicted to food, if you've ever gone on a binge, then you're going to know what I'm talking about. What happens is, okay, if you're sitting there with a container of 12 cookies, there comes a time, the first 3-4 cookies are just heavenly. They make you feel euphoric. They taste awesome. But then there comes a time when you're actually full, when you just can't, your body can't handle more sugar or more food or more bulk, more calories. But you get into this mindset, okay, I don't want any more. It doesn't even taste good. I'm definitely not hungry anymore, but I must consume it all. I must consume it all. I must eat it all. I must not leave anything. That's really what happens with social media. We get to this place of saturation where you feel like, okay, I'm starting to feel a little brain dead. Oh gosh, this is so much information. I'm not even interested anymore, but what's the next post going to be? What's the next? I can't stop. I must consume it all. I must consume it all. And frankly, when you've got 12 cookies, at least you do finally eat that 12th cookie. And with something like Facebook or Instagram or whatever it is that you use, there is no end. There's just no end. You can go on forever and ever. And then finally you have to rinse yourself away. And then 5 minutes later, you're going, oh, there's been time for another post or two. And so you're back at it, right? Am I right? So now for me, this month also includes forfeiting TV, any sort of series. In other words, anything that I would be able to not just consume, but over-consume. In other words, if I want to sit there and watch one 90-minute documentary or something interesting, I think that would be okay. Actually, I haven't had an interest, but I think that would be fine. But anything that's a series, anything, even on YouTube, where there's 20 or 30 that have to do with one another, so that compulsion to overconsume could kick in, that's completely off limits for me. I'm not asking you to do that, but I'm just saying right now my life is about not over-consuming the stuff that makes my brain mush. Now, if you don't hear anything else, I really want you to hear this right here. This month-long fast of social media and whatever is not about making room for more frantic doing. It's actually about discovering that time and saying, okay, Lord, what do you want to do now? And then being totally okay with the answer, because sometimes the answer is just to chill. And some of us have a really hard time doing that. A night or two ago, I got to the point in the evening. There's just a certain point sometimes in the evening, and I could tell, like something flipped in my brain, and I could tell, okay, this is the point at which I would normally start scrolling. And I thought, oh, what am I going to do with this time now? And I felt this little nudge to go paint the flower bed, which is something I wanted to do for ages, and I keep telling myself, oh, I want to do that so bad. There's just no time. And suddenly I had time, and I went out there and did it, and it was peaceful. It was easy. It was just a really low-key time. I mean, it didn't feel like work. And about an hour later, I got to stand back and say, oh, look at the flower bed. It looks so cool. I'm also discovering again what it's like to read paper books and audiobooks. Those are good too. And I feel like those are fine because at least you're engaging in one thing. There's nothing frantic about listening to a good book. or reading and holding a good book. I had gotten to where I wasn't doing that. Sometimes you can use your free time just to be minus the neurosis. It wasn't long ago that my pastor spoke to Kenny and me, my husband and me, prophetically, and said that we were about to step into a season in which things would happen while we were at ease, that we would be able to do and accomplish things, but with ease. And I thought, wow, okay, I really received that, because we were just about to sign on the dotted line for 44,000 square feet to relocate the nonprofit that my husband founded. And so I thought, wow, I mean, in the natural, that just sounds impossible. We're taking on an incredibly huge project here that's going to last like 2 years. And I see where Jesus is showing me, yeah, this is how you do it. This is how you go through life and you accomplish a lot. You produce a lot. You do what I want you to do for my kingdom, but you can also do it with ease as you keep your mind out of the frenzy. You forfeit your time so you can gain my time. He's saying, give me that time, give me your mind, and I'm going to give you a new kind of time. So I kind of suspect that this may turn into something permanent for me, because sometimes the Lord will ask me to fast something for a certain amount of time, and then he'll turn around and be like, I don't really want you to go back to that, because there's really nothing good that can come of it. So anyway, I'm just really excited about how this is bringing life to me already. We're only a couple of days into September, and it's already bringing me life. I don't know, I feel calmer. I feel like I have more time. I feel like these little things around the house all over the place, even this, like even doing videos, I feel like now there's just a little more time to do that. And I can't wait to see how it all ends at the end of September. I can't wait, and I really suspect I may never go back to scrolling. I hope I never go back to that. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you. Challenge you to join me if you are approaching a new month. I want to challenge you to do this and see what happens in your life. Okay? Thank you for listening. See you next time.